Thanks, Jim, and good morning. What an exciting day to be here today and to witness all this equipment out here. Collecting cellulose, a brand new item that we can get from the fields. It's very exciting for me. I'd like to start this morning by recognizing General Clark just for all his hard work. He's just been a great advocate for this industry. I'd really like to give him a round of applause. I'd also like to thank Lieutenant Governor Judge for being here and giving a fantastic speech and just for being such a great advocate for our industry, as well as Governor Culver, who has worked with us on this project and been a great supporter of ours, and of course the Iowa Power Fund, who's really helped to make this possible. Also, Jonathan Kopis from the USDA, the Department of Energy, and the leadership of the Emmitsburg community for being supportive. 16 agricultural equipment companies, far more than we had last year here. That are here with their equipment today. I also like to thank the farmers of Emmitsburg for taking the time to be here. I realize this is a tough time of year. I realize the harvest is late. I grew up on a farm. I know what that means. And so thanks for being here to witness this. Just to move forward, I've got a few slides to flip up. So please take a look. The first shows the tremendous potential that we have to produce ethanol in this country. What you see on the slide is the renewable fuel standard. That consists of 36 billion gallons of ethanol by 2022. That is the largest piece of renewable fuels legislation in the history of the world. The largest piece of renewable fuels legislation in the history of the world. That is our opportunity. It's a tremendous opportunity for the ethanol industry, but maybe even greater, it's a tremendous opportunity for agriculture to produce fuels from the land. And it's going to grow throughout the next 15 years. We're very excited about it, and we're going to watch that. We're going to watch large volumes of ethanol renewable fuels enter the marketplace over that time. There's no risk of that legislation going away. It's solid. The next slide shows the tremendous potential that we have for biomass-based or cellulosic ethanol. As you can see, we've got forest resources of about a little over 300 million tons, but we have almost 1 billion tons of ag residue in this country. What the slide shows then is that ag residue is the largest form of biomass available to be converted into ethanol. That's your land, that's your opportunity. Almost 1 billion tons of crop residue that could be converted to ethanol. And of course, the grand total then being about 1.3 billion tons. What we see here is a tremendous potential for ethanol to replace gasoline in this country. I think it's a little known fact that over the next 20 years, ethanol can almost replace gasoline. In fact, I know it's an unknown fact. Today, we only produce about 14 billion gallons and have the potential to produce a little bit more than that. But 10 years from now, with the increases in grain yields projected by both DuPont and Monsanto, we could produce about 28 billion gallons of ethanol from corn. So that's just 10 years out. The potential is far more than the 15 billion gallons in the RFS. It's actually 28 billion gallons from corn, about 30 billion gallons. We also at that time could produce about, in my opinion, 10 billion gallons from cellulose. So that's 40 billion gallons, or a very large percentage of the 140 billion we use, that could be available in just 10 years. But if you look out 20 years, the potential is even greater. At that time, we'll be producing about twice as much corn as we do today, or about 26 billion bushels. While increasing the food and feed supply 40%, we still will have enough left to produce 50 billion gallons of grain-based ethanol and 85 to 90 billion gallons of cellulosic ethanol. That's enough to almost replace gasoline. We use 140 billion gallons of gasoline in this country today. That's 135 billion gallons of potential in the next 20 years. Will we get there? I don't know, but the opportunity is certainly there. So we all need to be working, talking to our legislators, and driving an agenda to allow this country to create renewable energy from the land that is here in the Midwest. It's a tremendously exciting opportunity. It actually gives us the opportunity for the Midwest to become the Middle East, the Midwest to become the energy generator for this nation. On the next slide, this is a picture of our pilot scale facility in Scotland, South Dakota. We invested about $8 million of our own money in this plant. It's been running for 12 months, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we have learned a lot. You know, 2 years ago, I would have told you that this was a long shot, that making cellulosic ethanol was a long shot. Today I'm here to tell you that we've made enough progress and our enzyme partners have made enough progress that this process is a reality. We're making it today. We're making it in a fashion where we know it's going to be profitable as the enzyme costs come down in the next several months, and the enzyme partners that we've worked with many times in history in the grain side have promised us that, and they will get it done. So the process actually is there today. The enzymes are coming down a little bit more in price. So we are actually very close to competitive with grain-based ethanol today, and certainly will be shortly. So the technology is available. So exciting opportunity, the technology is available. And there's some more pictures of the facility that we have in Scotland. Very similar technology to what you'll see in Emmitsburg shortly. So in closing today, I'd just like to say that we'd like you to join us by participating in the program. We need you to make this happen. We can develop the process and the technology. We can make cellulosic ethanol, but we need you to deliver the biomass. There's no question you are an integral part of this process. The sooner we get everyone in Emmitsburg collecting cobs, the sooner we'll have this plant operating. We also have limited opportunities available, so not everyone's probably going to get an opportunity. So please, again, come up front, sign up at the table in the front, let us know of your interest in this process, and then we'll work with you to get the details hammered out later. And then the last is to let your voice be heard. You heard this from the general, you heard it from me once already, but please let your voice be heard. One way you can do that is to join Growth Force. Go to growthenergy.org and join Growth Force, which is, we have 10,000 farmers that have signed up for Growth Force in the first 30 days that it's been available. Our goal is to have 50,000 farmers signed up in the next several months. And Growth Force is designed so we can keep you informed of what's going on around indirect land use change, around E15, around the VTEC, and all these programs, BCAP, and other things that are happening. And so please join Growth Force and learn more about what's happening in the ethanol industry, because ethanol really is the use for surplus grain. It's used for biomass. And over the next 20 years, as we produce more grain and more biomass, we're the opportunity to use it up. So you need to take an interest and you need to help us and let your voice be heard. In closing, I'd just like to say thanks for being with us. Again, I'm very excited about this day, very excited to have all you with us, excited to have this machinery here, and we look forward to working with you in the future. Thanks.